Is there anybody listening? Is there anyone that sees what's going on? Read between the lines, criticize the words they're selling. Think for yourself and feel the noise.
Good morning. Welcome back to the trailer park. I got a special friend hanging out with me today at the trailer park, Uncle Warren, of course, from ExtraBulla, presidential candidate. How's it going this Monday morning?
I was rocking out to your intro song there. That was like some that was like some Scorpions kind of vibe to it.
It's Queensryche is what it is.
Queensryche. Oh,
Queensryche, man. If you're gonna go. Wait, is there anybody listening? Can anybody see what's going on? Open their minds. I mean, I love the lyrics of my intro. So welcome. I'm so glad you're here. You got a busy day. Of course, you're going to have Ryan Christian, the last American vagabond, on right after. So we're gonna go as long as we can till you got to jump out and go meet up with the last American vagabond. So thank you for coming in and doing this.
Oh, thanks for having me. I'm looking forward to that too. I'm looking forward to this too. I know you're going to give me some softball questions today, right? For the presidential campaign.
Softball questions. Yeah, totally.
That's what we agreed on in our monetary agreement when I slipped you that $50, right? Wink, wink, wink.
Do I look like I work for the state? Jesus.
I mean, journalistic integrity. What? I didn't say nothing.
Hey, chat, do me a favor and tweet this out, like it. I am on YouTube this morning. Which is a shocker. So we're going to mind our P's and Q's the best that we can. Hi, Kim. Good morning. Anthony. Hi. E. Holler's here. Kate. Good morning, Kate. So thank you guys so much for joining us on the YouTube. So of course the Rockfin's up and so is the Rumble. I'm trying to get logged into all the chats, guys. So I got to ask you about your presidential campaign. Of course, you are running, and I love your logo, ExtraBulla. Does that mean you're going to pile it on extra thick?
Yeah, emphasis on the bull is
Right.
pretty much how it is. Well, it started out as like a little funsies for the boys over at Do Dissonance, right? They said they were looking, they wanted a clout chaser candidate like Kyle Kalinske and Crystal Ball have in Marianne Williams, right? So of course they thought about me first. And I had to run with it. So the main goal is I don't really care about the American people. We're trying to get Do Dissonance to 1 million subscribers. But if we actually help people too, that's just icing on the cake, right?
Right, it is. No, and if we can get the information out there, I love it. I think it's smart. I mean, just ham it up, right? Ham it up as much as you can. So I got to ask you about some of your competition, some of the other candidates in the field. What do you think about? So of course we got Biden and Harris. This woman is a superpower. She doesn't get the credit she deserves. CBP, you are my hero, says Misty D Sunshine. Not our Misty. Our Misty knows better. And then of course you've got a lot of people excited about Robert F. Kennedy Jr. running. Who are you excited about on this little list here?
Well, I mean, who do I think is going to be my runner-up? I would probably say that it's going to be RFK. I really like what he's about. I just the fact that he's running as a Democrat.
I know.
Oh,
do you think they're going to let him say anything? I have a feeling that they're going to do exactly what they did to his father to him if he says anything that they don't want.
Yeah, right. I mean, it just seems like he was so close. It was like he almost had it. It was like I'm going to run for president, and then you're like, I'm going to run in the Democratic Party, and you're like, no, why? But I mean, his logic, from what I gathered, is that he thinks he wants to be the Donald Trump of the Democratic Party, and I just don't see that. It's just it like upsetting the apple cart, that sort of thing. But we all know the shit libs are just like so focused in on their own cult. They're going to they're going to think he's a Republican that's trying to
No, they will call him a Republican. We know that's coming.
Yeah, right? He's not going to make any headway with that. You can't make any headway with those people. They're just so thick that they don't listen to reason. It's just all about
Yeah,
all
they
about the
got
cult.
super blinders. You know, I did 4 years behind enemy lines as an elected Dem. I was an elected precinct officer of the Democratic Party. So then I did all of the DNC trips and all of the state committee parties. And, you know, I spent a lot of time from 2016 till 2020 trapped behind, you know, I call it trapped behind enemy lines because they saw me as the enemy because I pushed back on everything always, right? And yeah, we were told, we know, thanks to Elizabeth and Jared Beck with the DNC lawsuit, that they get to go in a smoke-filled room, you know, and pick their candidate. They have no obligation to you as a charter to give your voice or your consideration or your vote any fucking thought, and they can do what they want to their primary during their primary, right? They wanted to get rid of the primary altogether. They've been talking over but you know, they throw the super delegates around and they play a little bit with, well, we took the control from the super delegates away. Remember when they sold us that bullshit with the committee that they had in 2016 when we came out of Bernie's loss? People like Nomiki Konst was like, oh, we fixed it, we fixed the system, you're going to be able to vote now, and your vote will count. But do you think our votes counted in 2020? I mean, what a fucking shit show 2020 was, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's yeah, they might as well just go ahead. Well, they're not going to, they already said that they're not going to do any debates no matter who's running against Joe. So
no
strike
debate.
one there. Yeah,
no polls
and
either.
we all know what happened in 2020, 2016 too. They might as well just get rid of the primaries because the cult will still, even if they do that, the cult will still say, well, you know, it was a necessity, and really the DNC leaders really know who the great leaders are that we should follow. So, you know, blah blah blah, and then you know the rest. So it's
I do, but you know, I've got to say, I don't think that Robert Kennedy Jr. is as dense to the Democratic Party. He knows, he's been there for a long time, right? I mean, he grew up in it. I don't think that I think he gets it a little bit more than Marianne Williamson, because this chick is just fucking out there. I mean, I think she's sweet. Don't get me wrong. I think she has a good heart. I think she truly wants to help people, but I think she is naive as the day is young. You know, I'm sure it was an oversight, she says, as they kept her off the 2024 National Democratic primary polls. Oh, look at that. Biden at 39%. Do you believe that? 39 fucking percent. Michelle Obama at 8. Yeah, do I believe it? No, I don't believe it. Harris is at 7. That I believe. Sanders is at 7%. Buttigieg is at 5%. Of course, Clinton, don't count her out, and I ain't counting her out, man. I think she's going to pop up like a freaking whack-a-mole and come for us all. Of course, you got AOC Sandy, 4%, even though she can't even legitimately run, I don't think. And then you got Warren, Newsom. Oh God, that guy. Kane. Why does Kane? We haven't heard a word from Kane since 2016. Why is he even on this list? I don't know. Klobuchar. And I said, let me see how your hair would look, Mr. President, in a windstorm. Of course, Manchin. Do you remember that from Klobuchar? She was all big and bad and standing up to Trump.
She ran with that bit like it was like every other clip. She was like talking about it like, oh come on, you gotta get new material, babe. Comedy is fresh. It's fresh. You can't be doing those one-liners like that.
She never stopped saying it for like the whole year. Every clip we ever saw of her was that clip, and she's flushing her hair out of her face. Oh, God.
That's the stapler lady, right? Didn't she like throw staplers?
Did she throw a staple at somebody? I would never unfollow you guys. If you're getting unfollowed, I swear to God, it's the fucking algorithm, because I'm too busy to take the time to come and unfollow people. Just know that. I don't unfollow your YouTube channels, and I don't unfollow you on other media. It's the algorithm, because honestly, and I always think that. I'm like, 28 people came to my YouTube and unfollowed me today. How? Why? I never even did a show today. Do you get pissed at people? I mean, it just doesn't make sense to me that these people unfollow.
That's happened to me too. Somebody that was following me, I was following them, and all of a sudden they're just like, boop, you know, it just didn't happen. And but there's like some sort of like program or something that people use where they like kind of mass unfollow like trolls or something, and then if you happen to follow one of these trolls or something inadvertently or not, you end up getting caught up in the mix too. So I think that's probably why some of these people are getting unfollowed. Yeah, that's the word on the street. That's what Huggy Bear told me.
That's what Huggy Bear said, huh?
Huggy Bear knows all. So
Huggy knows, but I blocked Chanda because of it. I have a rule. Okay, well, that's okay. That's okay. I forgive you for blocking me. Fair use. Everything that we are going to cover clip-wise is fair use. I always suggest you go out there and do your own research, form your own opinion. Don't be a cog in the system, and just get the logistics out of the way. If you want to help me out, you can buy me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/trailer park. And people love to call me Trailer Park. You can call me Trailer Park. Just don't call me late for dinner. And of course, PayPal. I love PayPal. PayPal's like Christmas. Isn't it like Christmas when you just ding, there's a PayPal? I love PayPal. PayPal makes me excited. It's one of the few things that makes me excited. And I've got all of your links in the description below. If you guys want to help out Uncle Warren in his campaign, please go hit all the links. And yeah, I brought a regular trailer park deck like I normally do because I just want to get your opinion as a presidential candidate on a lot of the hot topics of the day. So I figured that's what we would do. So, of course, I'm big into history. I think you probably are, too. I think a lot of people that I enjoy their content are into history because history is really important. If you don't know how we got here, you're not going to fix it.
That's
right?
true. Yeah.
That's
I mean, I didn't used to be a history buff either. I mean, I was always just like,
I hated history in school.
Attention. It's weird. It's like when you start paying attention to stuff in the current, in the present, then you start looking at stuff in the past, and then you start getting more. Yeah. History is just nothing one big giant rabbit hole, and it's great, and it's crazy and scary at the same time too.
It is. It so is. It so is. So on this day in history, we got a few things. Are you still there? Did I lose you?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, well that's weird. I had some like interference, like I could hear somebody talking in my ear. I don't know. That was weird. The CIA. My CIA agent's name is Brent, and Brad, you guys, please chill out because I can hear you in my ear.
Dave, if you're listening, I'm here too. So maybe you guys are having coffee together.
Yeah. Is it Misty who said that you're supposed to name your NSA CIA agents? Yeah, I think so. So on this day,
CIA, FBI, they're all named Dave, so it's so easy to remember. So hey, Dave 1, Dave 3, Dave. It's great.
I used to have this thing about all my drug dealers were named Mike. I don't know what that was. It just called Mike. So anyways, on this day, April 10th in history, we saw the most powerful volcano erupt in 10,000 years. And of course, that was 1815. That was Mount Tambora. And 1912, the RSM Titanic has settled out for its maiden voyage. We all know how that turned out. Let's see, 1925, The Great Gatsby was released by F. Scott Fitzgerald. I like The Great Gatsby. They even knew back then, kind of, right?
Oh, yeah, they definitely knew. Decadence never changes, and greed doesn't either, so.
Yeah, no, absolutely. They nailed it back then. The Netherlands was the first country to implement euthanasia, and that was in 2001. Oh, look at how we've progressed. Wow. yeah, you can get killed in Canada, no problem. Now, let's see, 1986, of course, Halley's Comet reached its nearest point to Earth. I remember that. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I was in high school at the time. We had my science teachers were big nerds about all that stuff too.
Right.
So, you know, they were all they had like the pictures and stuff like that, and they were all geeking out. We're just like, just a rock. We don't care.
Right, right. No, I remember I was a little younger. I think I was probably, elementary school, but I remember it being a big deal. Like, you'll never see this in your lifetime again, that type of thing. And we were all just like, whatever.
I think that was a conspiracy, though. I think we'll see it again.
It was a conspiracy. It never even happened.
I think it's like it's a CIA satellite that actually revolves around the Earth. It's still out there, but we just can't see it until they want us to see it.
There's so many out there.
Hat, so
yeah. Well, odds are we're going to get hit by a rock eventually. So I'm just here till it does. So headlines I don't care to cover has been turned into headlines I do care to cover just for today's show. And I love this. The BBC is now government-funded media. What do you think about the government-funded media that Elon put on everything?
I like the fact that he's doing like a professional hit. Like he's not putting them all out at one time. It's just like he's putting them out in drips and drabs. So what do you do? Was it PBS that he did?
NPR. It was NPR.
Yeah. NPR. I could just hear their their tweed and their leather patch elbows just ruffling, going, "Oh, how dare you, sir!" You know, and their little pipes and the hats.
Audacity. Yeah.
This is
Decorum. He has
outrageous.
no decorum. They seem to love that word, decorum, right? You know, we talk about Elon all the time, and some think he's a savior, some think he's the Antichrist. I just got to say, fuck Elon. It will always be fuck Elon on my side. But I do find it amusing when he does shit like this. So, but the whole Matt Taibbi thing, we're definitely going to get into that. I got the Mehdi Hassan, Matt Taibbi thing I want to talk to you about because, yeah, that was just, I think Elon really showed his true colors in that for sure.
Yeah, that's ridiculous too. It's just it's like you said. Yeah, he does some really fun stuff, and then he just backs it up with this stupid shit sometimes too.
I'm trying to get there real fast. Come on. I'm trying to get through my deck real fast so I can get there. Okay, so we're talking about it. The chat's talking about it. Let's just talk about it. Okay, so of course, Mehdi Hassan, Matt Taibbi went on Mehdi Hassan, and Mehdi Hassan, you know, I used to bring Mehdi Hassan clips. I got to say, I'm fucking embarrassed about that. Right? So anyways, Max Blumenthal tweets out to this asshat. What did he say? Let me see. Oh, I can't move that. Darn it. I was going to try to move it to see what Mehdi had said. Anyways, Mehdi's a shill and he's hanging out with Jen Psaki. And Max Blumenthal says, oh, I did bring it. It says, I criticize my government on Twitter and on TV and public places. Just last month, I called for reform. President George W. Bush to be held. Former President George W. Bush to be held to account for war crimes. Have you ever criticized the Iranian government? What would happen? And Max Blumenthal tweets back, please, you and Biden's ex-press secretary just promoted yourself grandizing book at the heart of the DC's liberal establishment. Jen Psaki was previously the State Department's Spock's announcing, what does Spock's mean? Announcing, what is it?
His spokesperson. It's
just, okay, Spock
spokesperson.
Okay, it's abbreviation. That makes sense. Announcing child killing sanctions on Iran and defending the U.S. dirty war on Syria. You cheered on. And of course, you tweeted back, they look like the animatronic animals at Chuck E. Cheese. I agree with you, don't they?
Look at their giant heads. They have these giant heads. Yeah. I feel every time I see that picture, it just makes me want to have like shitty pizza. You know, it's just what the hell, man? You can't take those clowns seriously.
Oh my God. Well, so Elon, right, he attacks Matt, and there's a lot of false accusations that Matt was reporting false information. And when you actually go and fact check it, didn't Matt like have one date wrong and then something else? It was fucking minor shit, and he owned it. Like, oh yeah, you know, I screwed up on that. I think Matt has integrity. I don't always agree with him. You know, of course, I watched him back in his days on Rolling Stone and with Katie, and you know, I kind of felt like, oh, he's getting pulled into that shit lib. You know, he was walking the line really well. And a lot of them do try to walk the line for a long time, right? I think Katie Halper does that too. They try to, I'm a real progressive, but I can criticize the Dems, but you can only criticize them to a point. And that's what we saw here. But I think what we truly saw with this Elon thing was Elon showing his hand. Matt didn't do what Elon wanted. And I saw this because I covered the Amber Heard trial. And of course, there was the Amber Heard has a baby with Elon. They were together, and we kept waiting and waiting and waiting for Elon to step up and defend Amber. Well, he never fucking did. And yet we saw that again with Matt Taibbi. And it's that rich, entitled, well, if you don't do what I want, then I will just, you know, cut you down. And I think that's what we saw from Elon this week.
Yeah, you forget. I mean, yeah, when he does like this fun stuff like labeling BBC and NPR, you're like, yeah, that's cool, you know. Yeah. And when he manages to keep a lot of the shit libs from you know, getting you kicked off of Twitter or something, yeah, that's great. But you forget he's still a billionaire, and you don't become a billionaire by being a saint. Not in the slightest. So
no, you know, he's military industrial complex, and that's 100%. When you see Elon and he's got the money to buy fucking Twitter, where did he get that money? He got that money from the military industrial complex, from subcontractors that work for our government, by installing Blackjack, a military controlled satellite weapon, into the sky and then disguising it as Starlink. Oh, I'm going to give the whole world internet. I mean, he actually, and not that I care, he shut down satellites last week in Ukraine, so that way the military couldn't access them, right? And the military was fucking pissed. They were like, what? You can't do that. You don't have that control. And he's like, yeah, I do. Well, apparently they overrode him, but he thinks he has that kind of control over our own fucking military. That's not going to play out well for him. But where did he get all that money? He got that money from the military industrial complex, you know? And so to think that he's anything other than a talking puppet for them, you know, yeah, he breaks free and he gets his ideas out there occasionally, but he's still a puppet of the military industrial complex.
Yeah. And yeah, everybody says he's like what the is he richest, second richest, whatever, but still he's still below the actual ones who were pulling the strings around the world.
Yeah.
So,
with the families that are in control, I talk about them all the time. I am on YouTube, so I will be careful. But yeah, you know, most of those unnamed people that we have the figureheads that we all blame, like Klaus and, you know, Jacob Rothschild, and those are the faces. But there's so many of the, and I hate calling elites because they are not elites. They are the predator class. There's so many of these predator class at the top of the pyramid that we don't even know their names. We don't know who the fuck they are. And they are the ones that are ultimately controlling what's going on. You know, names like Jeffrey Epstein that nobody ever heard fucking 6 years ago, 10 years ago, you know, Robert Maxwell, you know, there's just so many of them. If you want to know who they are, go listen to Whitney freaking Webb, because Whitney Webb, she's got them out there. You know, Jamie Dimon and who was the other one? God dang it, it's probably on my deck somewhere. But there's just so many, and those are the ones. You know, these leaders of empire that are out there making these choices. It's not the elected government officials. It's not Joe Biden. It's not Kamala Harris. It's not none of the heads of the 3-letter agencies that are so fucking corrupt. No, it comes from much higher up. Right? Yeah.
And it's been like that for a long time too.
Hey, DC, good morning. I want to shout the chat out real fast since they've built up now. DC's hanging out. Hi, DC. DC, you had me cracking up. What were you? You did something yesterday. Just had me cracking up. Can't remember what. Denver Atwell. Good morning, Denver. Victory Jen. Victory Jen's in the house. Good morning, Victory. Jim. Hi, Jim. Hi, Jim. Jim. Those are all of our peeps hanging out over on the rock fence. Of course, we got Popeye hanging out over there too. And Kate. Kate, I don't understand what's going on with my chat. It says paired. Are some of you guys on multiple channels? Or am I on multiple channels? I don't know. D34F. It's your federal agent, obviously. Downtown, Fed Bones. I'm so glad the feds could join us this morning. Welcome, D34F. Thanks for coming in.
Yeah, that's the king fed right there.
That's the king fed.
I took advantage of your feature, so we're also streaming on my channel. So some of my crazies are
that's what paired means. Perfect. Too. Okay, it did say that. We got an update this week, and it said, "Good news! You can now stream to multiple places with your people that you're bringing in." So you did it, and you're streaming over on Extra Warren. Nice, or ExtraBulla. Cool.
Yeah, D34F, aka Def, super fed. You got to watch out for that person. Wow, really sketchy. Just saying.
Oh, young Morpheus. I've enjoyed some of your stuff. So glad. Well, guys, I've got some bad news for you. This kind of came out and broke last week, and you know, we've been saying it for a long time that Event 201 and COVID in the last 3 years might have just been preparing us for what's coming. And, you know, I was going to go look for the sound clip this morning. I forgot. But do you remember that we heard from Gates just maybe 5 or 6 weeks ago where he said, you ain't seen shit yet. The one that's coming is going to make this look like fucking nothing, child's play. Well, I got a special email from Miss Amber Heard, Brave New Future, and she really pays attention to what's going on in the sphere. And I got to thank her because she really steered us right during the last 3 years. And it was from the Alaska Health Department, and it was a medical alert warning about a new virus called Marburg, which apparently isn't a new virus. It's one of these ones that they've been fucking around with for a long time, like COVID or Corona. I'm wheezy today. And anyways, I brought you a little clip because it's out there, but they're being really quiet about it. So what they're doing is they're going to the local stations and they're going to the federal or the state health board level to really inform doctors that it's out there, but they're not trying to scare the public. So they're kind of keeping it under wraps. So I brought us just a little clip from a local news channel.
CDC just issued an alert for doctors here in the U.S., warning them of a new virus outbreak. I know, right? Another one? Okay, well, the agency is asking physicians to be on the lookout for cases of Marburg virus. And you might be thinking, what is Marburg virus? Paula Suro joins us now to break down what exactly it is and what the infection looks like. Hey, Paula.
Yeah, Faith, I've got that answer for you. Marburg is in the same family as Ebola. Both diseases are viral, fatal, and can cause internal bleeding and damage to your organs. So let's show you a list of the symptoms people with Marburg can experience. These include headache, fatigue, and bleedings. And while there have yet to be cases reported in the U.S., the CDC says it is important doctors see the warning signs of this infection they are calling rare but deadly. This advisory came out in response to recent outbreaks of the virus in Tanzania and Equatorial Guinea, which had no cases reported prior to this year. Now, Dr. Jane Morgan with Piedmont Healthcare says it is contagious through bodily fluids and that you should see your doctor if you are having the symptoms we listed earlier.
It can be actually rapidly fatal. In fact, of the 14 cases that the CDC is tracking in Equatorial Guinea, 10 of those have been fatal to date. And so we want to make certain that physicians are alerted early, that we have a high index of suspicion, and that you evaluate and manage these patients early, because it really can be a matter of life and death.
So what should you do if you travel to those areas, and can you recover once you've contracted this illness? I'll have those answers coming up at 6.
So you have to wait till 6 to know if you're dying. But anyway, so yes, this is a cousin to Ebola. Now, it stated there was 14 cases. 10 of those cases were fatal. I've heard higher numbers. I've heard 23 coming from the WHO. The WHO has launched a team to go in there because, you know, we always need the WHO's input on what's going on virus wise. And I don't want to be a fearmonger. I'm not trying to make you guys scared. I just want you to know that this is on the radar. That's what the only reason I'm bringing it. Keep an eye on it. You hear that word, Merbug, you better look to just see, because we know, right? We know what they can do. So what, are you scared of this? What do you think?
I don't know. That name sounds weird. I'm going to end up calling it the Marlboro virus.
I know.
You know,
I know
it's like, it's just, it looks like a cigarette, you know, it's one of those 100s. It's not the shorties.
Hey, I smoked Marlboro 100s for many years.
Yes. I was a Marlboro Lights kind of guy too, back in the day too.
Me too,
So,
me too.
hey, can I tell you something? You're still smoking, if you know what I'm saying. Stop it.
Thank you. I thought you were saying because I vape. No, I did quit smoking a couple years ago. It took my mother dropping dead right before my eyes for me to finally say, oh, fuck, I got to quit. And yeah, after a couple of your family members just literally drop dead from smoking, you go, yeah, maybe I shouldn't do that anymore. So if you're out there smoking, work hard to stop.
Yeah, I've been almost 2 years now for
me
myself.
Me too. Yay, congratulations to you. Yeah, cigarettes. I quit smoking. I'll never quit smoking weed, man. I'm a wake and bake it type of girl. But yeah, I quit in September of 2021. I think is when I quit for good.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that was around the same time I did too.
Well, congratulations to you. I'm proud of you for keep going, because I'm proud of me for keeping going. It's not easy when you've been addicted to something. I was 37 years in when I quit.
I started when I was 30 because I'm stupid.
Oh my God, who does that? I started when I was 12. I mean, if I would never have started at 30, I think.
Well, here's the thing. So I was a news producer down south, and I didn't smoke. And the thing was, it was like the herd would go outside, and when you to go out and smoke, and everybody
It's a
knows
social
the best
thing.
gossip. The best gossip is in the smoking pit, right? So you go out there, and it started with me getting a drag, and then I bummed a cigarette, and then I bought a pack, and then boom, that was it. And it was a very stressful job too, what I was doing too. So but yeah,
sometimes
it took
it's
me
just the act of it, right?
Yeah, I went from the cigarettes, and then I went to a vape, and I even went to a point where I was using a bubbler and I was putting tobacco in there.
Oh, really?
To do that.
That's
It was
hardcore.
actually pretty nice. Well, it was like it was really nice tobacco. The tobacco was
That'd be like a cigar hit, right?
Yeah, but you put like a little bit in there, like you just want one hit of a cigarette. So you just put a little in there, fire it off, boom. And doing that because of the oral fixation was gone, I wasn't doing this anymore.
Right.
It was easier to quit smoking. So anybody out there trying to quit smoking, hit your boy up. I'll tell you how to do it for
Yeah,
real.
you know, vaping really helped me with the, you know, I mean, I get the nicotine if I need it or want it, but the oral fixation, like, oh, okay, I got to have something to do right now because I'm a very, you know, I'm a recovering opiate addict, and so I have my nerve endings are fried. I dance in my seat. I'm constantly moving. You know, it's kind of it's an outlet for me, is what smoking was. So. Congratulations to everybody out there who's talking about how they quit. I'm so proud of everybody who's quit. So yeah, I feel so much better. I know you probably do too, right? Like you don't realize how much it holds you down until you don't do it anymore.
I had the wheezing. I had like always chest was congested and this like the coughing up stuff. Yeah, I don't miss those days at all. So.
Yeah, and you know, I got COVID in December of 2019. So I live in the Seattle area. Of course, it hit Seattle first. I had a daughter who was in the biggest rehab facility in downtown Seattle, and I was going over there weekly to take the grandkids over to visit their mom. And I would spend a couple hours there, and then I'd drag the kids home with me. And after they'd stay there for a couple of days. So, I mean, you got these little germ factories that just, my grandkids are germ factories. I love them, but they bring me every goddamn bug in town. And they brought it to me. I've never been that sick in my life. It was the original COVID strain, you know, the one that was really scary. And I was in bed, I'm not kidding, for 4 months. And I thought I was going to die. I really thought I felt my lungs collapsing. And I had a doctor. I went to the doctor, and there was so many people in the doctor's office. This was the 3 days before Christmas. And there was people laying on the floor and with masks on. And now this was way before the mask days. The only time you ever mask is if you went to a doctor and they said, oh, you might be contagious, put a mask on, you know. And when I got it back there, the doctor said to me, oh, there's a new virus going around. We don't know what it is, and it's super nasty. And he goes, but he called it coronavirus. And he even, on my paperwork, I went back and looked, it says coronavirus right on there. They gave me prednisone. They gave me a steroid, and it fucking saved my life. But we weren't allowed to talk about steroids at all, you know, in the future of that, or anything, any other treatment, right? I got to be careful. I'm on YouTube. So YouTube doesn't like it when you tell medical truths.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So they have to call it that. You have to use these code names and stuff like that. Like like we're sneaking information across enemy lines or something like that. So
as an American, that we are in a spot now where we have to use code and slang in order to have a conversation in this country.
Yeah. Yeah, that's where we are. Happy 2023, everybody. We're using code.
Hey, Red Cloud. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning to everybody's joining us. So, yeah, I have Uncle Warren hanging out for another 45 minutes, a little less. Of course, he's got the last American Vagabond. He's going to be hanging out with at noon our time, right? Yeah.
Yeah, 3 p.m. Eastern too. So
I had Johnny Vedmore the other day, and he was all the way over in, you know, he's a Welshman trying to figure out these time zones, man. And I have a hard time with it. I only know my time zone. I'm an American. Well, we have more train derailments. Did you see this? Oh, yeah. So this was, I want to say yesterday, maybe this morning. So what is going on? Is this intentional? Is this the breakdown of our infrastructure? Is it a combination? What is going on here?
Well, you know, Pete Buttigieg said that, and he just kind of said it nonchalantly, like, well, you know, there's like 1,000 train derailments a year. The 6 of one, half a dozen. It's like 1,000 train derailments a year, burying the lead. What the hell's wrong with you? Where was that, by the way? Where was that train derailment?
I want to say it was Illinois.
Oh, poor Illinois. God, they're not getting hit by tornadoes and whatnot. It's the train derailment.
Oh my gosh, the tornadoes last week were so terrible. Oh, yeah. I've got a thing on the deck about controlled weather. Well, you might get there with me, but yeah, I'm trying to figure out where that was. I don't know. You'll find it on Twitter if you go look, I'm sure. Normally I look, but it was so early this morning. I threw it on the deck and forgot to look. I'm pretty sure it was Illinois, though. Might be somewhere else. So yesterday was Easter. Did you have a good Easter?
I did. I did absolutely nothing. I
Me
used
too.
to. I didn't have any eggs to color, so I said, well, I'll just. I used Photoshop and colored some eggs on there, but it's not the same. You
It's
don't have
not
that
the
smell
same.
of
That
pies
smell of
and
vinegar
vinegar.
and dye. Yeah.
Yeah, that's every time I smell vinegar, it's like, oh, it's Easter. It's
Oh, it's
Easter. No,
Easter.
it's not Easter. It always
I
gets.
actually didn't do anything, even with the grandkids. I bought a big bag of candy and I just took it over to my daughter and said, "Here, put this in the kids' baskets," because I'm too lazy to make them baskets this year. They're getting a little older. So, well, our presidential hopefuls, much like yourself, are out there talking about Easter and wishing everybody a happy World War III. Of course, that was Donald Trump. He didn't say happy Easter. He said happy World War III. And Brooklyn Dad Defiant had to jump in on this because, that motherfucker. If you're randomly posting about World War III on Easter, you don't need to be running for the presidency. You need to be running to a mental health provider. So funny, Brooklyn Dad Defiant.
Sting.
Yeah, that guy. What a freaking tool that guy is. And then, of course, Biden, he tweeted out, "Jill and I join Christians around the world in celebrating Easter Sunday. We wish you hope, health, joy, and the peace of God, which passes all understanding. Happy Easter, and may God bless and keep you." Yeah, I'm sure Biden wrote that himself. What do you think?
Yeah, there's too many big words in there. There's no way he helped. He wrote that. I'd love to see a tweet where he actually says what he writes, what he says. It's all like A's and B's, and then there's like a Klingon letter in there, and there's a Q somewhere, and just like, what the hell are you saying, man? It's like, it's like the voice to
Yeah.
text thing. So he's like, blah, 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 he does that. It just shows all the shit on there. I'd love to see that. I'm gonna do that with one of his videos. I'm just gonna hold the phone up to it and do the voice to text and see what it prints out.
What it says. That's funny. I was just yelling at voice to text this morning because I said something and it got it wrong. And I was like, "And this is why you'll never take over the world," because they can't get anything right.
I said fuck. I
like that
didn't
too.
say duck.
Yeah.
Oh,
We're gonna
quit
duck
saying
the
duck.
world. Yeah, we're
Fuck
gonna
you.
duck the world.
Yeah. So
so annoying, isn't it? Yeah, a lot of people. I ain't even going there about my opinion about Easter. I mean, everybody has their right to their own religion, their own beliefs, their own creed. That's the fucking point of our country. So I ain't gonna go bagging on Christians. I'm not gonna go bagging on Muslims. I'm not gonna bag on anybody. Do what thou will. Just don't expect it to affect me. Kind of my my take on religion lately.
I mean, I enjoyed it as a kid, but these days it's just like,
I was raised pretty religious. I was, Protestant holy rollers. Assembly of God is what my family was. My grandmothers talked in tongues daily around me as a child. It scared the shit out of me as a kid. But then as I got older, now I understand it. It doesn't scare me as bad. It makes me wonder how the fuck they did that, but it doesn't scare me.
I've heard that before too. Yeah, I actually dated a girl at the time. She was like very religious.
The spirit, spirit enters your body.
Yeah, we went to this non-denominational church. I grew up Southern Baptist, so like hard.
I lived in the South. I lived in Baton Rouge. I raised my kids there, so I spent a lot of time in Southern Baptist too.
Very good. I'm a Mississippi boy, so that's like you were in the dirty South now.
Yeah, you in the dirty South. Yeah, I was in the bayou too. I mean, I was pretty far south. So yeah, I spent 3 years there. I still have family there. Yeah, we kind of go back and forth between. But I appreciate the religion that's in the South because that's their foundation. So I'm not going to bag on it.
Right. And it actually helps some people too to be better people, and that's what I like. If it does that for you, that's great. But
right.
it's not for everybody though. That's the people who push it on other people. When you politely say, "No, I'm good, thank you," but here's some literature. I'm like, I don't want the fucking literature. Yeah. Okay, I'm good. Thank you.
Right. I've never agreed with that doctrine of the teachings is you got to go out there and teach the world. I think if God's truly working on you, you're going to find it one way or another, right? You're going to find him or whatever it is, whatever spirituality you're looking for. But you're right that it does help people who are lost and that need some kind of comfort and hope. So that's why I don't bag on it. And I don't bag on atheists either, or spirituality. If you want to be a spiritual person, if you're an atheist, that's your will.
I look at it like, if you're going to teach me about your religion and how good it is for you, show me in your actions. That's how
Yes,
you teach
actions
me.
are everything. And that's why I've always
Words,
had a problem, when I was younger, just like, oh, Christians, they're the biggest hypocrites, man. They do one thing and say it and do another. And yeah, I see that a lot. But I don't just see that with religion. I see that with anything. Hypocrites are everywhere, especially in
oh
our
yeah,
government.
definitely.
Especially
Mhm.
in the government. Speaking of some hypocrites, I brought some hypocritic war pigs for us to talk about.
Ooh,
So, did you
Antony.
see Antony on Friday said that the U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken rules out a ceasefire talks between Russia and Ukraine at this time because he has that power to rule it out. Fuck Ukraine. Yeah, we don't care what you say. Russia might get the point when it is ready to enter into constructive negotiations, he said in an interview with a funky media group for some ideas. So yeah, basically he's just saying, yeah, no, we don't care if they want to talk. They're not allowed to.
Yeah, they just like, we're not done funding them. We still think there's like this pie in the sky chance that Russia's going to buckle, and everybody with a brain in their head knows that's not going to happen. And so it's just, all they're doing is feeding the military industrial complex, more weapons, more
More
money over
money,
there.
a
And
couple more billion. Didn't we send another 29, 26 billion something this week?
yeah, and we got trains derailing over here, 1,000 train derailments a year. Maybe if we took some of that money and fixed the train tracks, maybe put some high-speed
Oh my God.
rails, some safety measures in, and paid the people who worked on the railroad, maybe we wouldn't have to worry about that kind of stuff. But
Lauren, I hate to break it to you, but you're gonna lose with policies like that.
I
Not
know.
allowed to talk about fixing our infrastructure at all. That is not on the
I'm
agenda.
trying to get the shit lib vote, but sometimes I duck into this truth thing, and it's like, ooh, and then I get all disgusted, and I gotta get out, and I gotta, wipe myself off. Yeah,
Kim,
so.
another one. So in the chat, they're reporting 5 dead, 8 injured in a Louisville, Kentucky shooting. Oh, I like Louisville. I've been there a couple times.
Oh,
That's America, right? I don't know what the answer is. We are a sick fucking culture, a sick society, and I don't think one thing's gonna fix it.
no, I think it's systematic. It's definitely systematic. We got to change the system. These little band-aids and little fixes here and there are just not going to do it. The political parties aren't going to do it. You got to change the system, and people are just scared because they don't want to be communist Russia. And
I know, or too asleep, totally oblivious
and,
to the world around them. Yeah, they're either against it or asleep.
Yeah, definitely.
So going through the news this morning, it was all foreign policy. I was just like, fuck, we got nothing going on here. It's all Europe must resist pressure to become America's follower, says Macron. Of course, Macron went over to hang out in China last week, and they didn't roll out the red carpet for him. He kind of showed up on his own, and he had to shake the hand of whoever opened the door. But it looks like he finally got some time with Xi Jinping, and he said, "You must resist the pressure to become America's followers," and that's what we see. A lot of our foreign policy is rank and file, fall in line behind the American hegemony, right? Get on board or we're going to come for you. But we're seeing resistance. We're seeing resistance all over. And I brought a little video that kind of lists some of the governments and the states that have decided to say no more to America. And there's quite a few of them, which should be very fucking concerning for all Americans and for all countries that are supporting America, Germany and Israel. And I mean, we could go on naming them forever. But is Trump right when he tweets out World War III? I mean, looking at what I looked at foreign policy wise over the weekend, I'm going, Trump might be goddamn right.
And well, they're going to start World War III. That if anybody's going to start it, it's going to be America, because Russia's they're not going to lose. And then
no, they won't.
BRICS and all these countries coming together and dropping the dollar. And then you've got an already pissed off Europe because of the Nord Stream pipeline got blew up. And so now they're forced to buy.
And they're still lying about it. They're still fucking lying about Nord Stream. I saw an article this weekend that dropped of oh no, we didn't do it. We didn't do it. How much fucking proof do you need? Do you need to be there when it happened?
Yeah, they even said they were going to do it. It's like, it really is stupid.
I know, Biden told you straight up that he was going to do it, and you're questioning that he did it. That's funny.
And it goes back to what we were talking about earlier about like the cult. They'll just he could tell his cult, yeah, I blew up the Nord Stream pipeline, but I did it for America
I did it for
did it for
you.
y'all. I did it for you, and they'd be like, "Thank you, Mr. President. You're the best ever." And
I'd have more respect for them and him if they would actually just fucking admit to this shit. Like, yeah, you know what? We're bound to lose our status on the world floor. We're not going to be the global power anymore unless we start conquering other fucking countries. So yeah, we blew it up. We blew it up. And guess what, guys? We need to go conquer, Ukraine, and we need to. If they were just honest about what we're doing, and that way people weren't just blindly rank and file falling in line with this shit, at least you understood that you're being the bully, you're being the bad guy. I think, yeah, but this acting like the good guy and lying constantly, it's not getting us anywhere.
Yeah, that's that whole Reagan shining city on the hill bullshit.
Yeah.
When he said that, we're the shining city on the hill. No,
his 1,000 points of light speech. Was that what that was?
A thousand points of nuclear weapons shooting at you. Right?
Yeah.
We're the terrorists of the world. I mean, if we admitted that, then a lot of people around the world would be like, you're an asshole still, but at least you admitted you're a terrorist, and maybe there's hope for you yet. I don't think so, but maybe that kind of.
Trump owned it, right? Yeah, we're in Syria. We're gonna take their oil. I mean, he owned it. We're here for their oil. That's what we're here for. I think that's what gives Trump the support that he's got. I've seen a lot of people in our little echo chamber kind of supporting Trump. Like, maybe I'll be voting for Trump this time. What do you think about Trump and his whole presidency? I mean, I know you probably didn't support it, but was it as bad as we all thought it was going to be?
Well, it's definitely not as bad as the shit libs made it out to be. You would think like he had brought hell on earth, but it was like, well, I think Jimmy Dore said it best. He just already exposed how rotten the system was and all the people in it are anyway. Right. He put a bad face on there. And like you said, talking about the oil in Syria, we're here for the oil. Yeah, he was just, that kind of stuff was great when he actually just was like really truthful about that stuff. But overall, I mean, he's part of this system too.
Yeah.
He's right. In the mix, just like, anybody who runs as a Republican or a Democrat, at least, they're going to be somewhere in that swamp mess bullshit. And even some independents, you got to, I always say scrutinize everybody except me. I'm very honest. So I'm never going to lie to you, but everybody else, you would put that magnifying glass on them. Okay.
Definitely, I agree. And yeah, Biden blew up the Nord Stream. Let's see, Denver Outway says, I blew up the Nord Stream for LGBTQ rights, plus rights. Yeah. He would tell you that. Vermin Supreme in 2024. I've met Vermin. Vermin's a funny guy. I hung out with Vermin in 2016 on the streets of Philly protesting the DNC.
The boot on
the head. No, he's really a cool guy. He's really a nice guy. He really, truly is.
Right on.
Let's see here. Oh, and then of course, Medea Benjamin, U.S. is cranking pressure on China in the South China Sea. Now, China was performing military maneuvers. They had some kind of trial this weekend. So they were doing a lot of flyovers. And of course, that gets the Americans all riled up. So Medea Benjamin, who's done an amazing job of getting out there and screaming at these leaders' faces. I love when she goes after Blinken and, gets at least somebody's out there doing it. Unbelievable arrogance of the U.S. Navy challenging China unlawfully and sweeping maritime claims in the South China Sea. Hello, it's the South China Sea. Do we not get that, guys? And then, of course, you can't just be the Democrats. You got to get the Republican Speaker of the House, McCarthy, in there. And this is what he says.
We must continue the arms sales to Taiwan and make sure such sales reach Taiwan on a very timely basis.
So we go into war over Taiwan? I mean, are we going to pivot from Ukraine, Russia to full-on attention on Taiwan and China?
Well, yeah, if you've got the Dems and the Republicans on board for China, that's just, it's not a matter of if, it's just when. I mean, they just, as soon as they're done with Ukraine, they're going to give up on Ukraine. And they're going to have to, because if they want to wage this war they're
spending way too much money on Ukraine if they want this war on China.
Or, I mean, we could be seeing like, the end of the Roman Empire where they spread themselves too thin. and that's what did them in, and that's what's I think that's what's going to happen. They're going to try and do Russia and Taiwan at the same time, and or in China at the same time, and push is going to come to shove, and I think finally we're going to see the France type protests and stuff.
Really? You think that'll ever happen here in America? I've been out on a lot of protests in the last 8 years. I just don't see it. The youth has it, but the youth has been so bamboozled by the machine. I mean, most of the shit libs that we're fighting are Sunshine Movement. They're inside the Democratic Party. They've been indoctrinated by these universities from coast to coast in America. And I just don't see it. Unless it's going to be the boomers, unless somehow you piss the boomers off and you take their retirement or you cut Social Security. I don't see the younger Gen Zs or the millennials having the drive to get out there.
Well, I mean, I don't know if it's going to be. I mean, look at what France is doing right now, right? Granted, it's a small country; it's only about the size of Texas, right? And but they started with this retirement age thing, and now it's just like they're full on just writing about everything now. So I think they've just basically taken over the city. Can they do it here in America? You'd have to do it in simultaneous large cities at the same time, and
we're so huge. It's so hard. It's so hard to get huge crowds in this country.
But I mean, also too, we had a civil war where half the country was against the other half of the country. So I mean, and I couldn't imagine that happening in our lifetime either.
But we had the Mason-Dixon line, so you kind of knew where the war was. Now, it would be spotty. You'd have Texas, and then you'd have some of the South, and then you'd have, Wyoming and Montana. How does that work? I've thought about this a lot. How does a Civil War look in these times? And that's what they'd want. They'd want a civil war before anything else. They want to take each other out versus taking them out.
I'm gonna put my conspiracy theory hat on for a second. So maybe the United States was formed the way it is, with different regions spread out the way they are on purpose, so that we wouldn't be able to unite and overtake. Even though the Constitution says, you have the right to overthrow
a tyrannical government, right?
Right, but it's like, well, good luck with that when you're spread out all over the place. That was the little asterisk, footnote at the bottom you don't read in the Constitution. It says, good luck with that.
Is that why the three-letter agencies like the ATF and the FBI freak the fuck out anytime there's like a militant militia group that comes together? I mean, I've seen them attack peace-loving, not carrying arms, like barter communities. We had quite a few barter communities that popped up in Idaho and in Montana, and it seems like there's a few in California too. I know of one in Mount Shasta right now. And anytime that these communities come together in a sense of community, building a system vertical or away from their main system, they got to shut it down. You're not allowed to barter. You're not allowed to trade. You're not allowed. Oh, you're a cult. We got to come down and shut you down. I mean, Ruby Ridge, Waco. Granted, Waco had a lot of ammunition buildup, so that was their excuse, right? If you deep dive into Waco and Ruby Ridge, really what it came down to is they did not want people grouping together and rising up against the government and telling them, no, you don't have the right to tell me what to do.
Yeah. I think the only way it's going to happen in this country is if we have regional groupings of where it happens in regions, not
no, you're right. You're absolutely right.
At the same time, it would have to start like in a cluster of states in this part, and then a cluster of states in this part, and then hopefully it spreads, and then it all comes together. It would take some time to do.
It's definitely not happening on the West Coast. I can tell you that. We are a blue wash of liberal bullshit.
Yeah,
for sure. From top to bottom.
This guy behind me, the money place of the world here. So that's all shit libs central here. So the coasts are going to be hard to do, but everything else in the middle, I think, is going to be a lot easier to get people together, because they don't have the same bullshit as the East Coast has. They don't live the same way. They don't think the same way.
Well, yeah, and as people get more uncomfortable, I know I'm super uncomfortable with the price of groceries lately. I have a quarter of in my fridge of what used to be in there even a fucking year ago, and that was under tough times. People are gonna start coming together for that sense of community. I know my local food bank is just bogged down. They're seeing hundreds more people a week than they ever have. And I think that will be the what is it? Chris Hedges says that the tinder is out there. What will be the spark? The spark is going to be when
Mhm.
people are hungry. The spark is going to be when people are cold, when people can't take care of their kids. So we'll wait for the spark and
Yeah.
see where it pops off.
Yeah, and these prices the way they are now, I think it's gonna be pretty soon. It's just a matter of time. These prices ain't going down anytime soon either. They just
No,
seem to be going up.
they're just going up and up and up. I don't know. Will it get better if we go under war footing? Because I mean, you look back at history, right? During the Great Depression, we're talking in the 30s, right? Great Depression's 29 on up. So as we get into the late 30s, which is kind of where I feel like we're at historically wise. I mean, Hitler was invading countries and doing shitty shit. America had, the I was going to say the Bidenvilles, the Hoovervilles. There was people desperate for anywhere to live. I call them Bidenvilles because Biden has. I mean, you look in any major city in this fucking country right now, and there's a Bidenville somewhere. There's multiple Bidenvilles. It's so bad on the West Coast. I brought a ton of videos about homelessness, but I feel like we're getting to that point. But look at how strong America came out of World War II, right? I mean, we were empire of manufacturing at that point because Rosie Rivet got out there and she started building, and we instantly turned everything into factories, and we were pumping out, the war machine. And I feel like that's what this predator class wants. The predator class is like, yeah, we'll just keep printing money. We'll freaking fund a war here. We'll fund war, and then we'll just put everybody back to work making our war toys for us, and everybody will be happy. It'll make our economy stronger.
The only thing about it though today though is like a lot of your warfare is cyber warfare too. So I mean,
So much.
yeah,
Yes.
you're probably gonna need. They would probably need people to work on counteracting the cyber warfare too. But the way
They already
this
have them. Yeah.
this chat GPI and this AI is going, we may not even need people for that. It may figure out
No,
algorithms.
what they say 80 or 90% of what we see by 2025 is going to be chat GPT generated.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
I can
insane.
imagine. And what are we going to do? I mean, we're not going to have there's not going to be that many jobs for people. They've shown us right now that the government's definitely not going to take care of us. No UBI or no Medicare for all.
Guys, I do believe that CBD, they will roll out an UBI under that, and they will give us a shitty healthcare system too. They're going to give us a shitty healthcare system. They're going to give you maybe $1,000 stipend a month if you don't have any other income, but you're going to be controlled by that card. Like, it's only turned on in certain day. And if your social credit score was bad, you got charged in a crime, you were taking your access to, your allotment away from you.
Yeah.
I do see that. And I have seen that. I went in 2016. I went to, where was it? The People's Summit. I was at the People's Summit. There was a group there that was studying UBI because I used to be a huge supporter of UBI. I'm poor. I'm in a trailer park. Fuck yeah, give me an extra $1,000. Prices are going up. I could use it, and everybody I know can use it. But then when you start looking at the logistics of a UBI, and they tried it out. They did for a year. They just ran a test study up in Canada. They gave people $1,000 every month. Did it improve their situation? Yes, it did. But ultimately, in the long run, no, it didn't, because these people weren't driven to improve their lifestyle at all. Versus a federal jobs guarantee. If we had a federal jobs guarantee like what we saw rolling out of the Great Depression, where, hey, you go get your ass down to Las Vegas, there's jobs there, you can build the Hoover Dam. I mean, how much infrastructure problems do we have across the country that we could turn into a fucking federal work program? I just don't understand why they don't fucking do that. It's their money going to their contractors, going to their people. I mean, it's a win-win for everybody all the way around. But yet, no, it's so evil. That's communism. Can't do that.
I don't get that why there's not this huge push to fix the infrastructure in this company. Because if I'm a billionaire, greedy person, and I want to make as much profit as quickly as I can, I would want to get my goods and services across country as quickly and safely as possible. I would think.
Not on some
as a
crappy
business.
ass rickety fucking track that was built 80 years ago that the train keeps falling off of. It doesn't make any
Did you
fucking
see
sense.
that video? That track that
Oh
was like
God,
this
yes.
shit? It looked like two snakes going down the track, and then here comes a train going over, and I'm like, how the hell? It's
about making the CEOs richer, right? It's not about putting it into the infrastructure. And here's the odds, right? Maybe somebody with money is going to come build a high-speed rail from coast to coast eventually. You know, why should they put money into it when you can get somebody else to do it? It's kind of, I feel like what's going on, because remember Elon, he's got big plans for all of us. He's going to do the boring tunnel under LA, and of course he's going to do a high-speed tunnel from coast to coast. And so I think that these titans of industry, they just sit back and they're waiting for somebody else to pay for it.
Yeah,
we'll take our money. You pay for it.
Maybe we don't have high speed rail because of the airline industry too. You're
absolutely right.
From New York, if you had high speed to New York to LA, a nice train, and you're just like zipping along, and it take just a few hours to get there.
4 hours, 8 hours.
Take your belt off and all this bullshit. You don't go on a plane. You get on the train. I think that's why we don't have the bullet train. I want the bullet train so bad.
I do too, because living outside of Seattle, I live 2.5 hours outside of Seattle in the far northwest. I'm in that very little corner up in Washington State on the tip, and it takes me literally 2.5 days to travel fucking anywhere. Like, it takes me half a day to get into Seattle, and then I got to do the airport, and then it's a 6-hour, 8-hour flight to anywhere else in the country major. Like, yeah, I would love to see high rail. And honestly, our planes are fucking scary right now. I don't know if you've flown lately, but most of those goddamn things look like they're being held together with duct tape and baling wire. And I don't know how secure our airports are. They ran a test on TSA a couple of months ago, and they failed. 99% of the weapons they tried to get through got through. So really, you're wasting your time taking off your belt and you're having everything x-rayed when 99% of everything the ATF tried to get through the airports, they got through. So it's a waste of time. I don't find any of our airports any safer.
No,
that time I live on.
I would be scared to fly these days too. I think I'd rather just walk.
I drove across country for the DNC convention, but I did it with 26 strangers who all were Bernie supporters, all alphas. Like, oh my God, it was the most insane thing. All organizers, all type A personalities, all the way across the country for freaking days. It was insane. I don't advise doing it.
Did you have weed with you at least?
We did. We got stopped in Montana. We had one of our people, because we had it was a caravan, so we had 7 vans, and one of our people had the Bernie mobile, which had been signed by Bernie and people all over the country. He had took it to mass Bernie rallies. Tulsi had been up and down the coast, anyways, and he had a pound of weed in his car. And we all had eights and vape pens, whatever, with us. So we stopped at this rest stop in Montana. We've been driving straight through for almost 24 hours now. We're tired. We need to take a little rest. Everybody gets out, and the attendant at the truck stop must have saw that we were liberals and that we were Bernie people, so he called the state patrol on us. Montana State Patrol comes rolling in, and he's like, he takes a look at us and he goes, I could toss all your cars and I know I would find something, being that you guys are from Washington State. Now, Washington State had just legalized marijuana and had started selling it 6 months earlier. So he knew. He was like, you guys are from Washington. We all had Washington license plates. He's like, I know that you guys would end up in jail if I start digging through your shit. So get your stuff packed, and you got 10 minutes to get the fuck out of here. And man, we did. We piled into all of our vans. We're out of here. We don't want to get stopped in Montana. But and that's another thing that's so weird to me. I was talking to somebody the other day, do you have legal weed there? And they're like, oh no. To me, it's fucking mind-blowing that I can go into a store just right down the road. There's 5 of them within, a couple miles of me, and I can buy legal marijuana. But somebody 300 miles that way can't. I mean, this is just insanity. Isn't it crazy?
there's like 4 people in Montana. Why the hell is it illegal over there? It was just everybody's so spread out. It's not like people are going to smell your joint. The guy, your next door neighbor, probably lives like 20 miles away. Come on.
The kids in Missoula would love Montana. My twin brother, my baby brother, he lives in Montana, and he literally drives into Washington or Oregon to get legal marijuana, a couple times a month, gets his stock up. So I guess it's within reach for a lot of places. It's just mind-blowing to me that we are living in a time like that, right? I mean, my dad had lung cancer. My dad died of lung cancer, and he was in Salt Lake. And we had legalized, but Salt Lake, of course, had not. I don't think they ever will, being, the Mormon-centric state they are. And he was begging me for edibles. Please just send me anything to help me. He was dying of lung cancer. And I couldn't. It's a federal crime if I would have put it in the mail. And to this day, I still have guilt. Like, I let my dad suffer in pain because I was scared that I would go to a federal prison if I dropped it in the mail to him, That's the reality we live under. And here's another reality. I know you're going to get out of here soon, but I got to get your comment on this before you go. Of course, Hillary had her friends over, her drunk friends. I don't know. How drunk is Pelosi? You tell me.
When Secretary Clinton was in the Senate and First Lady, but especially as Secretary of State in more recent time, she has been, and at that time, implemented many things showing America's support for democracy. It was her clarity in position to the President Putin, present occupant leader of Russia, that made him turn around and ensure, in a illegal way, come out against her in her campaign. An interference in our democracy by Vladimir Putin, because Hillary Clinton was the person he feared most in terms of his lack of democracy in Russia. That's, I think, self-evident. So thank you for what you have done.
I came to see a war hawk, but you're just a poor old drunk. I'm telling you, with that finger shit she was doing, that's drunk, man. I know. I was a bartender for many years and a drunk. So I'm telling you, that bitch is drunk.
Let me tell you, you shut up. I'm talking. Let me tell you some shit, all right? Even Hillary was over there going, man, this bitch is drunk as a skunk, dude. Look at that bitch. She had that big ass mug, too. That shit was full of liquor.
I wonder what her drinking choice is. Normally it's vodka for people like that, because for some reason they think that nobody can smell the vodka on them. I don't know. I just have a feeling she's a vodka drinker.
She probably put vodka. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Or maybe she may be a Grey Goose kind of gal too.
Yeah, she might be a Grey Goose kind of gal. Kettle One Grey Goose. Yeah, give me a Grey Goose martini with 3 olives. I can hear it right now.
It was just like, and they probably went out. They probably, somebody came out before they had that meeting too, and they said, okay, please, nobody, no flammables. Do not light any matches or anything.
Her hair goes up.
She's going to be coming out in just a second, and trust me, it's going to be like a Gallagher concert. It's just, instead of, you're going to have to wear trash
Gallagher
bags.
died. Did you know that? Gallagher passed this last year. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That was sad. Yeah, these guys. The mullet. He did have the original mullet. Cynthia McKinney, we know her, we love her. Soros' son scores easy White House access. The son of George Soros scoring easy White House access, records show. Breaking news from around the world. Are you shocked that Soros' son would be hanging out at the White House?
Wow, Soros with political access in high places, man, that's shocking.
That's just a conspiracy theory. He's just a political contributor. He contributes to political campaigns. That's the only influence he has, according to the liberal left.
Well, and that's the thing too. It's like we said about the cult too. That they're not going to care about this. Somebody will just spin it and go, "Oh yeah, well, he's helping his dad, and and his dad is such a great thing for the Democratic Party, yada yada yada." And they're like, "Oh, yay!" It's the same shit. And it's just like, just another fuck you to the regular people out here who know what's
every
going
time.
on.
Pelosi just turned 83, F43D. No way. 83.
83.
Well,
83.
What is Feinstein? Feinstein finally decided she's not going to run again, right? She's in her 90s, I want to believe.
Yeah, well, she says that, but does she even remember that she said it? She's so far gone. It's
she
just
is so far gone, right?
Do you think
You
we
think
should
they
have
have-
term limits with these people?
Yeah, I do. Absolutely.
I just do. Yeah.
If
Why-
you
I
have the
don't
age limit to become president, you should have an age limit to get the fuck out of there too. And we see that some of these rhinos and dinos holding on for 30, 40 years. I mean, God, some of them look like walking skeletons. Like, oh, the crypt
Yeah.
keepers here, a Mitch McConnell.
I look at it like this: if you can divide your age by 4 and it comes out to 21 or higher, you gotta get the fuck out because you were just way too ancient to be in there. And I'm sorry, Bernie. I know he's getting up there too. Bernie needs to retire.
Fuck Bernie. All Bernie did was carouse probably millions of people back into the Democratic Party, take their fucking money, take their last dime. You know how many seniors gave their last $5 fucking for Bernie because they thought they were going to save democracy and they were going to save America, just to have Bernie kiss the ass of the establishment, do nothing for us since the last 4 fucking years. I even held on till 2020 with the Democratic Party, and the last 2 years of it, I was totally just absolutely done with Bernie Sanders. But I was just waiting to see, is he going to follow through? Is he going to say what he's going to do? I'll be here to fight for him if he's going to fight for me. Guess what? He didn't fight for me. He did not. He rolled over and told you to go ahead and vote for Biden, vote for Hillary, vote for Biden, DC, thank you so much for the Super Ray. Never forget to keep the article handy. Just look up cash flow to the Clinton Foundation on your search engine. Yeah, absolutely. We know where the cash flow came from. And DC says Texas unemployment, along with other states, now partnering with private corporations, ID.me. Oh, fucking that's lovely. Requiring biometric scans, social security numbers, and state ID photo uploads through the website to access unemployment benefits. I am not shocked. Unemployment is the biggest scam we have out there. And I say it all the time and have for years. ID.me also acts as a digital wallet. After signing up, they start marketing me medication I was recently prescribed. Not sure how they got the information. Yeah, they have all of your data now. They know what meds that you should be being introduced to by them being in your news feed. But the biometrics to get your unemployment, we knew that was coming. We've been saying that for years now. Yeah, you go cash your unemployment check, you got to look into the camera and let it catch all 5 spots in your eye. The airports are already doing that. They already have my biometrics. Brad and Brent, you guys already got my stuff, Brad and Brent, that's my CIAs.
Dave's not getting mine without a fight, damn it. All those Daves.
There is. They already have it. They already have it. Anytime you've ever walked through an airport, in any major airport, they've scanned your retina. They probably already have you matched up. They already know who you are, even if you haven't. Yeah, Is that okay? Go ahead.
I haven't been in an airport since 2009. So they've been doing
you're probably good then. I know they've been collecting everybody's biometrics for the last couple of years, so you're probably good.
Yeah, catch me if you can, suckers.
Catch me if you can.
The only biometrics you get from me is a blur, baby. Woo!
A blurry face. Okay, I'm going to get one more card and then I'll let you out of here. You've been fun. So as a 27-year-old staff attorney for the House Judiciary Committee during the Watergate investigation, Hillary Rodham was fired by her supervisor, lifelong Democrat Jeffrey Zifferman. How come I don't? Or Jerry Zifferman. I don't remember him. When asked why Hillary Rodham was fired, Zifferman said in an interview, because she's a liar and she was unethical, dishonest lawyer, and she conspired to violate the Constitution and the rule of the House and the rule of the committee and the rules of confidentiality. Are you shocked? Yeah, just a reminder. She's terrible.
There's a reason why you don't remember Jerry.
Why don't I remember his name? I've never heard his name. Zeffman.
Exactly, because he went against the Queen Bee and
okay.
Not saying, just saying, people tend to drop off the face of the earth sometimes for reasons. I'm not saying why or in accordance with certain people named Clinton, first name Hillary. I'm just saying that kind of stuff happens. People take vacations permanently. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? They just go away like little birdies flying off into the sky.
Little birdies flying off the sky. No, you're absolutely right. That's probably exactly what happened, especially because, the Clintons have had control and people, the deep state. What is the deep state? The deep state doesn't exist. I'll tell you who the deep state is. It's partly the Clintons. They've had control of our 3-letter agencies, the State Department, since the fucking mid 90s. And you think that changed under Obama? You think that changed? I mean, no, Hillary got in there in what, 2008 is when she got her House seat, isn't it? Is it 2008? Probably right around there. Well, whenever Kennedy Jr. died, right? I mean, that's why she won her seat, is because his plane crashed. You know, people don't, that's a conspiracy. That's a conspiracy. Well, a lot of people around the Clintons have a lot of accidents and a lot of crazy shit happens. So I'm not ruling it out. I won't say it's 100%, but I will say I'm not ruling it out for sure.
I wouldn't be surprised in this day and age.
I wouldn't either. She wanted to be an elected representative. And here's the thing: if you've ever read that bitch's book, the whole reason, remember when the whole Monica Lewinsky blue dress bullshit stain came out, and she was so humiliated, and she didn't leave Clinton, and because she stood by her man like Tanya Tucker. The thing was, in private, in the apartment at the White House, he was sleeping on the couch. She was fucking livid. How dare you, humiliate us, ruin our political name, smear us like this. He had to promise her that she would be an elected senator, she would get elected, and that she would be the first female president. Bill got on his fucking knees and he promised Hillary Clinton, kissing her ass because of Monica Lewinsky, that he would make her the first female president of the United States of America. So that's why 2016 was the way it was. That's why I don't count her ass out. She ain't going away. She's trying to figure out another sneaky way to sneak her way in. And I just, once you know that he promised her that, she still got it in her fucking head that, hey, I'm going to be president. I'm going to be the first female president. It's not going to be Harris. Not one bit. We're getting long in the hour. I'm going to let you get out of here. You have been an absolute joy to sit and chat with this morning. ExtraBulla, Uncle Warren. Of course, you're going to hang out with Ryan Christian, the last American vagabond, right after this, right?
Sure. Yep. 3:00 Eastern. He's going to be on. We're going to be on YouTube. We're going to be on Rockfin and Twitch, and then you can watch it later on Rumble and other platforms as well. So yes, after this fine program is completed, come by and see us. We'll be there, and we'll set out the good china for you too. Yeah,
I'll be done, and I'll send everybody your way. Ryan hangs out on AM Wake Up on Tuesday mornings. That's another good place to catch him too. So I'm going to be looking forward to all of your snarky campaign ads and everything you're doing. And anytime you want to stop by the show, you are always welcome at the trailer park, Uncle Warren.
You gotta come on ExtraBulla sometime too. So
absolutely,
I will return the favor, and thanks for having me on. I appreciate you.
Yeah, you're real fun. It was fun chatting with you and getting to meet you. So thanks. And have a great rest of your day. We're going to hang out a little bit longer, guys. I got a few more things for you.
Cool.
Bye. Okay, guys, let me see. Let me get my deck worked out. Get me a shot here. There we go. Actually, let's do that so I can get my deck in the right place. Well, that was fun. That was really fun. I've never really talked to War. I mean, of course, I hang out, at his show and in his chats occasionally, but it's fun getting to know people. Of course, if you haven't watched my interview from Friday, I had Johnny Vedmore from everything Johnny Vedmore. You go over and watch it. It was a great interview. I had a blast, and you guys can tell when I'm having fun with an interview. So you can definitely see it in that one, is what everybody's telling me. So definitely go check that out. Let's see. Just a reminder that, I gotta turn that on. There we go. Court concedes DNC has the right to rig the primaries against Sanders. So this was just a reminder that it doesn't fucking matter who's the presidential candidate. I know everybody's excited. They're excited about Marianna Williamson, and they're excited about RFJ. Why do I always get his name wrong? Because my brain has to add the extra. I'm used to saying Robert Kennedy, right? I don't know. I can't get excited about any of these guys because it's the Democratic Party and they're going to rig it. It doesn't matter who we choose. So I'm not going to get excited about anybody, somebody might have a chance. No, nobody has a chance. So you guys are missing the point. You're missing the point. See what I skipped. I'm kind of skipping around my deck. I do have one more thing I want to show you guys this morning. Oh, RBN, you guys, they kill it. I love those guys. Americans say they're sick of major parties, but they don't vote that way. Yeah, that's kind of true, right? That's because people are drilled with constant anti-third party propaganda. If people would stop concern trolling about third parties and get to work, we could start building a movement that should have started years ago. And yeah, I see that a lot. Like, oh, you can, a third party will fail, third party will fail. And I've said it myself. By design, the way the system is designed, a third party cannot come in. You're not on the debate stages. You don't have your own primaries. You can't get on the ballot in half the fucking states. The path to ballot access isn't even fucking clear for most of the states. You know, I've worked with third parties a lot because in 2016, when we came out, I was like, oh my God, the Democratic Party is broken. We need to get behind the third party. And I think that we have to go through at least one more election where people get disenfranchised, right? I mean, 2016 Bernie people got disenfranchised, you know, the Hillary people did because of Trump, but then the Trump people did in 2020. So I think that the further we roll along and the more people that participate in the system realize, oh shit, it's broken. I know I didn't get it. I didn't get it until I got all fired up for Bernie and went in the system and realized, oh shit, we don't talk about it. They don't teach you that. They don't teach you how a Democratic committee or a central committee works. I don't even think they teach you Robert's rules or any of that shit in, 12 under. If you go to college, yeah, you could take a course on that, but good luck getting college when you're a poor trailer park trash like me, because you got to take a shit ton of student loans, which I was not willing to do. I was fortunate. I had a lot of people around me when I was young who taught me, don't borrow money for school, don't borrow money for a car, don't borrow money for credit cards. I mean, I remember when I turned 18, I got like 20 credit card applications in the mail. My stepdad was just like, don't do it. You're going to be under interest. And and I'm thankful to this day. I am one of those people that doesn't have a shit ton of debt on me because I've never owned anything. I've never owned a house. I've never owned a brand new car. I've never done these things. I've always been smart about it. So I say, keep being smart about it, guys, because the dollar, it's going bye-bye, and we all know it. So the dollar, the rest of the world, I don't want to play with you anymore. Yeah, they don't want to play with us anymore. And let's talk about the BRICS. This is a great 60-second clip explaining the BRICS. If you don't know what the BRICS is, pay attention. Oh, pay attention. He goes to the next one. Come on, play.
Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, a political union representing 42% of the global population, 26% of the global GDP. 12 more countries are applying to join, including Saudi Arabia, Argentina, Iran, Kazakhstan, and Indonesia. If successful, then the BRICS group will control a huge amount of global food, energy, manufacturing, and metals production, making it the biggest and the most important political and economic alliance on Earth. Not to mention, it will have over 50% of the world's population and around 40% of the global GDP if those new members come on board. A new world order is coming, and its name is BRICS. Subscribe now. See you next time.
Is BRICS the new world order? I mean, like, time will tell. Time will tell how this is all going to play out. But the American dollar, all I want to say is bye-bye. I think you're going. I have one more story I want to cover, and that is Clarence Thomas. Clarence Thomas was trending, and so was Bohemian Grove this weekend, if you didn't notice. So Clarence apparently is hanging out with billionaires, and the other predator classes are not happy about it. And why are they not happy about it? Because he's making decisions that go against their agenda. So now it's time to get rid of him, kind of like they did Scalia. I don't know. But so, yeah, he's getting thrown under the proverbial bus. And this one, I haven't seen much follow-up on. The Clarence Thomas billionaire benefactor collects Hitler artifacts. So Harlan Crow, who is reported has a garden full of statues. That's the one that's supposedly really good friends with him, and they're hanging out. But I wanted to let you guys know, Jason Burmis did a nice deep dive into this morning. Burmis kind of runs around the same time as AM Wake Up, so I have to bounce between the two. But go watch that Jason Burmis if you need a reminder of what Bohemian Grove is. And just what the hell he thinks is going on here. he seems to think that, yeah, they want to get rid of Thomas because they can't control him and they want to stack the court. I mean, how many times has Biden said he's going to stack the Supreme Court? I'm going to stack the Supreme Court. He said it. He told you he's going to do it. And I just wonder how Thomas will pass. Will it be like Scalia with a sudden heart attack? I don't know. We do know the CIA has a heart attack gun. Just saying. My conspiracy. And the IRS agents are out there getting us. So, according to the White House press secretary, those 87,000 new armed IRS agents are not cops and are to be known as revenue collectors. Meanwhile, they're still going to hire another 100,000 cops to protect the revenue collectors. Now, mind you, I've reported that they bought $7 million worth of ammunition that was attributed to the IRS on top of the 87,000 new agents that they picked up. So, yeah, the IRS bought so much ammunition that there was none for anybody else. And yeah, I love this because this is really what it comes down to. 87,000 IRS agents chasing me. I have $601 in my account. I wish I had $601 in my account. I would be trailer park rich if I had $600 in my account. But, you know, it's the first of the month. You got to pay rent. Oh, guys, this is a terrible story. I've been reporting this story to you guys for a long time. Did I cut this? Cut this. So I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait because we talked about that with Pasta the other day. Kensington Avenue, the trank drugs. I've been telling you guys about it, what is coming drug wise for the, you know, everybody thinks it's just the fentanyl. It's just the fentanyl. No, there's so much more to the story that's happening out there. And it's taking some time to get into the rural areas, but it is starting to show up in the rural areas. So join me and Pasta for Till Hell and Back, because I know we're going to be talking a lot about that this Thursday. And yeah, trank drugs are showing up from coast to coast. And a trank drug is a fentanyl that is mixed with an animal tranquilizer. But the problem is that it eats the flesh away. It's a flesh eating drug. And so, yeah, I'm going to do another good deep dive into that this coming week. I think I have one more thing here. Oh, come on. You don't work now? That's weird. I guess I don't have a deck anymore. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing it and bring it back in. Maybe it'll work that way. Sometimes you just got to cowgirl these things. Sure. Did that work? That worked. There you go. So in Finland, the number of homeless people has fallen sharply. Those affected received a small apartment, counseling with no preconditions. 4 out of affected make their way back into a stable life. And all of this is cheaper than accepting homelessness. Yes, you know, the amount of money that we are dumping into homelessness to have nothing done, you know, productive is insane, but that's what we do here in the US. We do insanity. And you are here paying taxes to, I can't say that word on YouTube, but you guys can see. I even blotched it out so YouTube wouldn't get me on the algorithm. I try to think ahead. How's the skies where you live? Are they clear? Are they cloudy? Well, if they're cloudy, it might have something to do with this. Let's hear what the former says. Oh, come on. Every time I click it, it bounces. Do you see that? Did I not put it in? Maybe I didn't put it in. Okay. I guess I won't be talking about that. I'll bring it to the next show. I'm going to let you guys out of here, but I'm going to tell you what I'm doing this weekend. I am going to do a screening and a Q&A with Gabriel. Super excited about this. Of course, Gabriel Shipton. And this is the story. Ithaca. It is a fight to free Julian Assange. It's kind of an inside look of the family's fight. This is going to be in the Seattle area. It's actually Tacoma. So, or if you are on the West Coast, get tickets now and you should go. I'm going to go. I'm excited. We're going to get some interviews for Roar and hopefully we'll stream some stuff out. That'll be next Sunday, I think the 16th. So, and then of course, tomorrow, if you are on the East Coast, get your butt down to the Department of Justice and hang out with all of our fams out there fighting for Julian Assange's freedom. 4 years at Belmarsh is tomorrow, sadly. And yeah, you guys can write Julian Assange too. Please, please do. And make sure you do in a large print lettering because his are getting bad in Belmarsh. Of course, he's not getting good health care there. And yeah, I think that's our show for today. I had fun hanging out with Warren. Warren's funny, don't you guys think? I do. Nautilus, good morning. I want to shout out my chats again. Thank you guys so much. Denver, Attaway, DC, how's Thomas gone against the billionaire class? Be elaborate. Yeah. Okay, so it comes down to the trans issue. They're afraid that he is not going to rule the way that they want him to when it comes to all of these trans bans in kids sports that are coming up. There's quite a few lawsuits around the country. I think Jason Burmis does a really good job of breaking down why he thinks that Thomas is being thrown under the bus, which I agree with. So check that out, DC, and he gets really elaborate with exactly what bills are coming down and why they would want to get rid of him. And they want to stack the court, right? They've said it from day one. They they want the Supreme Court, and the Dems do. And not just that, the abortion pill too, right? There's a lot of talk. There's quite a few lawsuits out there of doing away with abortion pharmaceuticals from coast to coast. Well, most abortions that happen in the United States now are a pharmaceutical, and so they have a couple of different reasons to get rid of or I want to call him Scalia, because I think they're going to Scalia his ass, Thomas. So of course, Thomas is a piece of shit. We know that. Both Combo Couch and Warren are bound to go next. Yes, they are. So you guys go watch them. And thank you to all the new faces that I saw come in from Uncle Warren's channel, ExtraBulla. We had fun hanging out, and you're always welcome here. I think we think along the same lines, so we appreciate it. And shout out to the Rumble. Thank you so much, Rumble, for hanging out. We had quite a few chats over there. I appreciate you guys. I will be back tomorrow morning for my regularly scheduled Trailer Park Pundit. You guys can come hang out with me then. And we got a busy week. You guys think Oz is down and out? He ain't down and out. That sucker, man, he's feeling damn good and putting my ass to work. I thought I'd have the whole week off. Like, oh, Oz had surgery last week, so I'll have him this week. No, he is raring to go, but I'm excited. I'm glad he's feeling better. So we got a special show Thursday night. I can't tell you anything about it because I don't know anything about it. I just know I'll be there for it. So we got lots of shows all week. Thanks, Vass Adams. And Beauty and the Boomer will be back Saturday. It was a tough weekend not to have Beauty and the Boomer. It's the first one in quite a long time. So I missed you guys, and I'm looking forward to it. I got a lot of good stuff saved up for it. So thank you guys so much. All of the donation links are in the description below. We appreciate you keeping the lights on and helping us out. Since YouTube has kicked us in the ribs, it's been a really rough month for us. So thank you to everybody who's trying to make it a little better for us. Thank you so much. Oh, love to Oz. Yes, love to Oz. Oz is doing better, guys. Oz is feeling a little better. Chris Foster, how are you? See you later. Hell yeah. Return of Oz. Psyched. Yes, Oz will be back this week. I think Thursday he will definitely be back on the show. So I will see you guys then. I got a great closer for you. This is What It's Like. It's an Everlast cover, and by Annoying. That's a great name. But I really love the words ring true to this, because if you've never had to walk a mile in somebody's shoes, you don't fucking know what they're going through. So have a great day and be kind to people.
You see a man out your liquor store begging for your change. His teeth are rotten and his eyes bloodshot and he's covered in mange. He asked the man for what he could spare with shame in his eyes. Get a job, you fucking slob, is all he replies. God forbid you'd have to walk a mile in his shoes, 'cause then you really might know what it's like to sing the blues. And then you really might know what it's like, what it's like. And then you really might know what it's like, what it's like. And then you really might know what it's like. said, don't worry, baby girl, I'm the man you've been dreaming of. And 3 months later, now she won't date her or return her calls. She says, goddamn, if I'm that man, I'm cutting off his balls. Goes to the clinic and she gets some static outside the door. They call her a killer and they call her a sinner and they call her a whore. But God forbid you'd have to walk a mile in her shoes, 'cause then you really might know what it's like to have to choose. Then you really might know what it's like, what it's like. Then you really might know what it's like, what it's like. Then you really might know what it's like, what it's like to have to choose. Knew a guy named Max who used to roll fat stacks on the corner with drugs. Used to hang with players, roll with the gangbangers, and chill with the thugs. Until one night there was a big gunfight, Max lost his head. Pulled out his Colt 45, planned to talk some shit, and wound up dead. God forbid you'd have to wake up to hear the news, 'cause then you really might know what it's like to have to lose. And then you really might know what it's like, what it's like. And then you really might know